Hello and welcome to Comms Noise, episode 4. I'm Chris. With me tonight are
Matt,
Ben,
Matt,
and Ricky.
So we've got full house tonight, 5 of us, and we've got 2 main things for the agenda. We're going to start off talking through the new FFG articles released over the last couple of weeks for Wave 5, so that's the Phoenix Home and Aequitens. We'll have a quick break, and then we're going to do a report of a summer kit tournament that the 5 of us went to a couple of weeks back. So, who's going to start us off by giving us some of the Phoenix Home info?
Info. So there's 2 Phoenix Homes. There's the assault ship and the command ship. Hopefully you've already seen the stats, but effectively the difference is the command ship is 60 points and there's a squadron rating of 3.
That's great.
I
love it.
2 reds out the front, 2 reds out the back, red and a blue out the sides, and another 2 blue out the front. So it's a front shooty ship, 3 shields on the front, 2 on the side, 1 on the back. So it's a bit like a Neb, really, when you think about it.
5 hull.
Like gun-wise, 5 hull, 1 blue anti-squadron, evade, brace, redirect, max speed 2 with 2 clicks for each. Engineering 4, so pretty tough as well. 2 command. So the assault ship, 4 points cheaper, gains a black on top of the blue for anti-squadron, drops down to squadron 1, and swaps all the blue dice for black dice.
Red dice. No, it is a blue for black.
Yeah,
you're right.
Blue red.
Yeah. I should just caveat this and say when this article came out and you were texting me, it was halfway through my Christmas party, so I was wasted. So I'm relying on you guys. I've read the architect stuff, but I'm relying on you guys for this one.
So they can obviously both have an officer, a support team, the new command card. The command ship gets an offensive retrofit for fighter support, whereas the assault ship gets a missile slot, which all makes sense. So one is a charge in and shoot them, one is a hang back and squadron around.
Doesn't have a new missile as well.
Can you charge in at those speeds available?
The flechette, though.
It's got a missile slot. So yeah, it can have...
And there's a new missile.
Yeah, there's a new missile for it.
We'll come to that.
So, these the title. They've only revealed one.
Do you want to talk about what you think about that first before we move on to other stuff?
Yes, it's got one of each. It's a bit like a gladiator with its one of each defense tokens. So obviously it's very flexible, but it can get accuracy and get into trouble quite quickly. It's pretty tough with if you think about at the front shield and one of the side shields and the hull points, you've got 10 hits. Pretty solid. It's basically as tough as a gladiator.
It's got a really good set of defense tokens.
It's about the same points as a gladiator, but it's a little bit slower. So my concern is it's very slow, which means...
Especially for black dice.
For black dice, definitely. And for the command ship. If you try to run it down, it can't get away. So I think you'll very often see engine techs.
Chase it with B-Wings.
Well, yeah, that's it. B-Wings can keep up with it. So it hangs back. You want to give it like long-range comms and do all the fightery stuff, but if something comes in to get it,
can it fit engine techs?
It is getting got. Yeah, it can fit engine techs. So I think you'll see these a lot with engine techs.
And running alongside MC80s and stuff, or things of
other slow
comparable
things.
I don't think you'd take an MC80 if you take those, because they just perform the role.
And what are they like? They're about the same points as a Neb.
A little bit more, 60 and 56.
They're great carriers,
but
and that's what the MC8 is there for. So.
They've got redirection, they don't have that one shield on the side.
Well, one's a good carrier, one isn't, but it has... It's weird, it's a red and black, the one that isn't a carrier?
The carrier has blues.
That's a bit weird.
So it wants to be
it runs in. It's like a slow gladiator.
It wants to be miles away, but it also wants to be close.
So
the gladiator's got black and red as well, hasn't it? 2 red on the front.
The gladiator's got speed 3 and engine techs, I guess.
Does Sato work with that?
True. Yeah, well, Sato works with that really well because it's got the missile slot, so it can put on like assault proton torpedoes. It can shoot its reds at long range and then swap those reds for blacks and then get the crit through at long range.
So it's flexible.
I mean, obviously, ships are always good with the admiral they come with.
But it doesn't have the slot for ordnance experts, does it?
No, it does not.
Which might hurt for a torpedo boat. Like, really hurt.
That's true.
If you have got SAS.
But I imagine...
We're not talking hundreds and hundreds of upgrade points here. We're saying you need Sato Commander, and that ship as is.
Yeah,
or put the odd thing on.
APTs.
So then
let's move on to the upgrades then, just so we can round out what role it is, because it's got a new slot in, which is going to change its role clearly. So
they've only revealed one title, which is Phoenix Home, 3 points, and it gains an additional officer slot, and it can be given 4 command tokens instead of 2. So for 3 points, that's pretty cool. You can get some combos with the 2 officers. and more command tokens is more good, especially if you're running Garm.
Garm back.
Hashtag Garm.
Haven't run Garm. It's the first time I used him.
God, he's terrible at currently, so this might bring him back.
We were talking about that before, wasn't it? It actually does serve a purpose with that shit.
Yeah. What else have we got? Other cards. We got.
She's not going to be
the good fighters.
We've got. Sorry, just flicking through the cards we've already seen. We got Ahsoka Tano. Which is Anakin Skywalker's apprentice.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd do the fluff bit first. That's your bit.
So she is in the cartoon show Rebels and helps them out a bit. During your activation, a friendly ship at distance 1 to 5, you may exhaust this card to discard 1 command token from that ship and gain 1 command token of any type on your ship. So it's a weird kind of like extra good reverse Comsnet thing.
It's during the activation.
That ship gains a command token.
Oh, yeah, I misread
So
it.
you just
So you change a ship's command token from one type to another, which is really good because you can't stack 2 of the same one.
No.
So Garm gives you 1 of each. Then you can use up like your engine command, and then you just turn the fighter command into the other engine command.
Yeah.
So it's
Or
like
vice
being
versa.
or vice versa. Whichever you want, you can effectively have 2 of it.
So those concentrate fire tokens, you can just
Make them useful, yeah.
Yeah, turn it into something good. Or if you're not running a lot of fighters, you turn your fighter tokens into something good.
I know you explicitly in the rules you can't take more than 1 type of a token.
That's right. Yeah.
So you'd have to wait till you've spent 1 of them and then
Right.
swap
So
one
why?
over.
But why would you not just get the token you want in the first place? Is it just to keep you flexible?
I guess
right?
if you're a Garm.
But also,
Yeah, if you have more tokens, if you wanted 2 engineering tokens or you wanted 2...
I see. You could do it twice.
Yeah, well, you basically, let's say you've got a
You
ship with
use
engine
it.
techs with
Yeah.
a nav token and an engineering token.
Yeah.
You use your nav token to engine tech, then you swap its engineering token that's got left over into a nav token.
For
so
next
next turn,
yeah,
it
okay.
can go again.
Right, with you.
It does just sound like some cards that are trying to bring back some of the older...
Older Admiral. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good to
the
see
older
Garm out of the
Admirals
box
that-
again for this.
I've been a fan of Ramus. I'm thinking with this one, say for example,
Yeah, he becomes super
you,
flexible.
You could just have that token and then turn it to whatever you like with her.
Yeah, and for 2 points, and it works on almost any ship in your fleet. You can have her sitting on a transport at the back, or it doesn't matter. You can put her anywhere.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what ship she's on.
Yeah.
I always like the people who don't matter what ship they're on.
How many points is
Good.
she?
2.
It's not bad for 2, is it?
I wouldn't say it's going to go in every fleet, but if you've got a fleet that fucks around with tokens, like especially with, we'll see coming up, the new fleet command things that require you to spend specific tokens, she's really handy to have to make sure you've always got the right thing for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you had
I was saying, having her on just on a flotilla as well as Comsnet, and you're just doubling up the purpose of your single...
Makes you really
Well, that's true,
flexible.
because you give away your token, and then you turn it into basically whatever
You have to
token
do
you
it.
want.
Oh, right. So
Right.
you just constantly give away a nav token, but it becomes whatever
Anything.
you want.
If it changes in the course of the turn, you go, oh shit, I thought I was going to nav this turn, but now
Yeah.
that ship's died, or I really need the concentrate fire or something to finish that ship off, or I need the squadron to
Well, it does
alpha. You can just
Yeah.
turn it into that.
So it's when the friendly ship activates.
Yeah, it's
If you-
before the Comsnet, though, I think.
if you've got a
But it's
list,
during the activation.
Yeah, it doesn't say it
any
just says
time.
during activation.
Yeah.
Any time during
Okay.
activation.
So you pass away whatever and then
That
change
is
it when
really
it activates.
strong.
if you've got a list she's in as kind of like a just in case card, I see, obviously there might be lists where she's pivotal, but I think the amount of games I've been playing recently where I've lost initiative off of like 1 or 2 points, I think unless
that's
she's
true.
unless she's key to it,
Oh, yeah.
I'm always going to be looking at that card.
If you're
thinking,
bidding, you're never going to just chuck
Just
two.
throw
But it's
it.
the same with everything. With like,
Yeah.
Quantum Storm. Like Quantum Storm's cool, but if I had a bid list, I would not put it in just for the sake of it,
Yeah.
even just for the point. Because
I think
but
it's
it's so
a
cool.
definite- That's for a Comsnet flotilla. That's a perfect card. I think I would just take that every
so
time.
we generally agree that's
She's
strong for
good.
2.
Obviously, not a take in every game, but certainly works with a lot of other cards.
Yep,
cool artwork as well.
Yeah.
she's a cool character.
We got Major Derlin.
What's the fluff on
I've
this
been
one?
waiting for this guy to get his limelight for years.
He's the guy who controls the blast doors in Echo Base on Hoth. Do you remember him? You must remember. He had an amazing start.
like it was
Oh, wait,
yesterday.
this is Moustache Tech over again.
Yeah.
Damn.
So he says he's 7 points, rebel officer. Before you suffer damage from an attack, exhaust this card to reduce the damage by 1. So it only works on attacks. You can't drive over an asteroid and laugh
And
it
you
off.
can only do it once per turn.
And you can only do it.
Well,
'cause
effectively,
there's nothing
unless
for
they're-
rebels that unexhaust.
they're untapped, yeah.
So,
Bright Hope, Kraken,
And him.
yeah.
Flotilla, and Major Derlin.
You got a ship that's getting shot every turn. You don't get the Liberty in the
Right.
middle getting shot every turn.
Bright Hope,
Stick
Kraken,
him on
Major
it.
Derlin. That's reducing by 3.
Yeah, stick him
well,
on
it's
Flotilla.
reducing. Yeah, you remove 1 die. You're obstructed. You remove. Yeah,
Yeah,
Crazy.
he's pretty cool. He's quite
For
expensive
7 points.
because when you consider redundant shields, how many points are they? Like 7 or 8?
I think they're 8, aren't they?
And they give you
Yeah.
a shield back every turn, which is effectively the same thing.
Well, I'd argue this is better for cheaper because that 1 point damage might be damage card coming through.
That's true.
It's stopping it before you take it rather than get it back after.
Yeah, so it could prevent a crit,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
for example, and you don't have to spend. You can wait for him.
Yeah.
Like
Wait for it.
Yeah, you don't have to use it like on the first shot you take.
Yeah.
But it is vulnerable to MS1 ion
Yeah,
cannons.
you can fuck him up. He sits there getting electrocuted. His moustache
that
gets all
upgrade
fluffy.
that rules the meta currently.
Or just pop your pricey, MC80 cruiser. You can have your redundant shields and your ECM and Major Derlin and just laugh as people try and kill you.
I do think he's expensive for what
It is expensive. I would have expected him to be like 5.
But I
And
think
redundant shields is a modification as
but
well, so you can't then have other.
How many
stuff.
points was
8.
8.
Major
is 8,
Derlin, I think, has to be expensive because I mean you see it with a lot of dice games or in damage mitigation. You get the law of increasing returns. So the more and more damage blocking you have, the
Yeah, the
more
more
powerful the
effective
next
it
piece becomes.
Yeah, that's
So I
true.
think you've got to be careful you don't set it.
You don't want to get a game
where
where survivability is stronger than killing. Do you know what I mean?
That said, you can have both.
You
ECM and redundant shields.
Yeah.
ECM.
And
you could take an MC80 assault cruiser with bulkhead, emergency bulkheads, which we'll
ECM.
cover later, ECM and Major Derlin.
Rumour is that even fire sprays can't kill that.
I would say it, but at 7
Yeah, but
points.
decimators probably can.
The other thing to consider, if you're repairing every turn, like if you're going for one of those tank builds, Ramus offers effectively the same thing because he gives you that extra repair token every turn, which gives you a shield back every turn.
Yeah.
But again, it's a shield versus the. And if they've got slicers in there coming in, they're not going to
Yeah,
slice it.
no, that's true. Yeah, he's good. I'm just saying he's not.
He offers
He's not
something,
amazing.
he's something different, isn't he? He offers ways around certain combos.
But he's vulnerable to others.
Exactly,
For,
yeah.
for 7 points, I'd prefer Turn Fire probably in my list. Just
That's the thing, he
reroll
takes
on
up
the
a crew
blues.
slot, and there's
Yeah.
so many good
Yeah.
Rebel crew.
Yeah, you've got Leia,
so many
you've got
good-
Torrenfar, you've got
Antilles.
you do have 2 slots on
So
Phoenix Home.
That's true.
Ooh.
And I do see Phoenix Home drawing a lot of fire.
Yes,
It's
definitely.
relatively easy to kill. It's quite slow, and it's got
Like,
lots of juicy upgrades on it.
And Vader versus Phoenix Home.
Oh yeah,
Dead.
that
You've seen that
unrecreatable thing.
Seen that episode of Rebels, yeah.
Okay,
what's next?
next we got Commander Sato, which we've talked about a lot because he was spoiled like months ago.
Just reiterate him.
So, I don't know if
in
he's
light
talking
of
on
what
the-
other stuff we've
Yeah,
got,
so
we
what he
can
does is-
reassess him.
He's 32 points, so he's quite a pricey admiral. While a friendly ship at distance 1... Sorry. While a friendly ship is attacking a ship that is at distance 1 of a friendly squadron, before rolling the attack dice, the attacker may replace 2 dice in his attack pool with an equal number of dice from any colour.
That's before rolling, isn't it? So it's
Yeah,
different to the
that's
turbo
Different from
lasers.
dual turbo lasers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically the fighters go in and paint the targets, and it means you can swap your red dice for black dice, for example.
Is crazy with APTs, isn't it? Many
Well,
many people have pointed that out.
That's probably
right?
one of the most effective combos we've seen at the moment. Is where if you have APTs, so you're a scout frigate or you're one of the assault Phoenix Home, then you shoot your red dice. You're at very long range. You shoot your red dice, but you swap them out for black dice. You get the APT crit, and you go through shields at long range, which is
And it's a good job he's an admiral, so you can't mix it with the Donna. It's just
Yes.
ridiculous,
Ooh,
ridiculous
crazy.
turn 1 crits from like miles away.
So I wonder if this will push big ships even further out the game in terms of like you counter that with evade tokens, like pretty much all small ships.
Yeah, just
Evade that one.
evade. Yeah.
evade, makes evade tokens better. Yeah,
It makes evades and it scatters a better bit.
it does
like
mean you can
large
chuck
ships.
blue dice in if you're going for a flotilla. You can add
True.
2 blue dice.
True.
I don't think it gets rid of big
Pretty cool.
ships because you
No,
still
no,
throw
no.
like a load
No,
of
but-
dice plus 2 blacks.
But like, TRC corvettes are
squeezes
good
them
against Sato
a little further.
because you're not getting a big deal out of it. But what else? Oh, I had something.
I was thinking that MC80 thrown out like
We
4
didn't get
black.
a fluff background.
Oh, so he's in Rebels.
strong.
He's the leader of the Rebel fleet in the TV show.
In fact, captains.
Yeah, I think
Phoenix
that's
one.
more the point they were making is it makes big ships more vulnerable because they don't have evades.
Yeah.
So they're basically definitely going to take.
You
I wonder if we'll see a
They're
lot
definitely
more.
taking APT.
consistently APT.
We might see more
You're right, it's
Captain
all-
Needers.
It's also effective on home ships that you're saying MC80s because you're just getting so many black dice from a long range, but you can't get the ordnance on those.
So am I right
for
in
the
thinking
crit, so.
you can concentrate firepower to add because you can swap out your red dice for black dice, then put your concentrate firepower in as a black dice,
that
even though you
works,
didn't
yeah.
already get, even though you don't naturally have black dice.
That used to be how the old AF2, you had double arc, which used to work.
What does it say before rolling your
Before
dice?
rolling,
Does it say after determining your pool, or does it say just says
no.
before rolling the dice?
Yeah. So I guess you determine your pool.
Yeah, because you can add concentrate fire in after you roll.
Yeah.
So you definitely can.
Yeah.
And then you can add stick in defiance as well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking
yeah.
before.
But I just wonder with Defiance, like, without having an ordnance expert slot, like, yeah, you get to roll a lot of black dice. Yeah, 4 blanks. I know on my luck, I fucking
But it's like
love
you don't
ordnance experts. Like,
You
but-
need them. You can't run this
You
without.
could
Yeah.
take a Liberty with Sato, and the Liberty could have ordnance experts, even though it's only getting black dice from Sato.
yeah,
It's a bit risky.
and it's got black dice AA.
Oh, yeah.
So,
So that would make its AA a lot better, yeah.
yeah. But then
Leading shots.
But then you're...
You get to reroll the blacks then.
Yeah, in fact, because you could, even at long range, you could swap in a black and a blue
Just for leading
just for leading shots, and then stick in another black with your concentrate firepower.
true, yeah.
See, I'm saying it sounds like a lot of hassle for the shots you want, whereas I can have how many more TRC Corvettes for the amount of points we're spending now? Just more firepower. But, it's scalpel versus hammer.
Yeah, although, your TRC Corvettes could get black dice, and then they can TRC their dice to hit crits.
Who should you
work on
Isn't
red
it-
dice?
isn't it
Does
only-
TRC
It's only red
work on
dice. It's only red
Red
dice.
dice,
Yeah.
yeah.
That would be.
Otherwise, I'd be running that on.
That was the first thing I checked.
But don't forget the fact you do need to keep your squadrons within distance 1 of the target, which
Yeah, you
means
need
they
to
are
have
getting.
squadrons, Cookie.
Yeah, which means they're getting
That's your problem. You can't run Sato because you won't run squadron.
So I think you've got to run a very specialist fleet to make use of.
You'll
them.
just
You wouldn't
have
just
like
stick
2
them in.
Y-wings, 2 10-point Y-wings flying around. Just
And then when they get AA, you'll be like, oh,
Whoa.
Well, it takes a long time to AA Y-wings. Holy
True.
shit.
Headhunters are definitely going to be cheaper than Wyvern.
Yeah, but they're half the hit points. Like, I think for cost to hit point ratio.
So that,
Yeah.
that once, yeah, when they get all your squadrons get taken off the board, and you're like, my commander is now useless.
Yeah. And if you get locked down too far away from your target,
I guess.
yeah.
does he no good against an enemy ship that's like engine teching around?
I guess it's all about rogue spam with Sato, though.
Yeah, or just A-wings who
Ghost-
can keep up with
Ghost-
anything.
Ghost, 2
There's a lot of
A-wings,
rogues in the new
and then
pack.
rogue
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that fits the theme because he
Yeah.
leads a bunch of A-wings and Ghost in the
Well,
show.
This might be a combo that I've been planning that I might have to try as soon as it drops. Too many things to proxy in one go.
Well,
when
you're
it
going
drops,
to make a fluffy list based on his actual.
I'm making
Okay.
a competitive
Cool.
list that happens to be fluffy.
So
What's
that's
next?
That's him. We got.
So we think he's good. We think he's good, but only for certain lists.
Yeah, I think
right?
you've got to make a very specialised list to make the most out of him. It's not
But you
like
do for every general,
it's not like a Dodonna you can just chuck
I don't
in.
know, like Motti. No, just chuck Motti into any list.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is. He makes it better.
Yeah, do I want more health across the board? Yes.
But that's just a cheap option.
Dodonna
Yeah,
makes
true.
stuff better. Yeah,
But
there's a number of generals.
32
there.
points is fairly pricey,
Yeah.
but I think everyone
So-
wants to try that certain list.
Then
So
we've
next
got,
up?
then we're on the fleet commands, the new upgrade slot. They only show 3 of them. I suspect there are 4, 1 for each order. So they're all unique, which is important. You can take multiples of them if you take multiple Phoenix Homes, but you can't take the same one twice.
You
So
don't
this,
really need to, though.
wow, it'd be really good if you could.
But
Is Phoenix Home not a unique title?
you only need
Title,
Yeah,
but
he's just saying
all
the
the
ship-
ships should have this slot.
Okay, yeah,
so you
fair
could take potentially 4 of these ships, each with a fleet command.
Fair.
And if you could take, 3 of this one, all fighters follow me,
make it 5.
and make your B-wing speed 5, that would
Okay.
be super broken. So you can't do that.
So
So what it does is all fighters follow me. At the start of the ship phase, before anyone activates anything, you may discard this card or spend a fighter token. If you do, until the end of the round, the speed of each squadron that a friendly ship activates, so not if they do something on their own, is increased by 1 up to a maximum of 5 until the end of that squadron's activation. So, for example, it wouldn't benefit Han, who pushes himself around,
Or a rogue.
or any rogues who activate themselves. It's only fighters that you push.
but you can push those if you want to, right?
Yeah, you could if you, didn't
could.
want to use the rogue ability.
You can push Han if you want.
Yeah.
Just nobody ever would because
You're paying points for something you're not using. So yeah, I mean, great. It makes your B-wings go faster. It doesn't do anything for A-wings. So obviously having tokens around for these is really good because you don't want to burn it.
right.
So they all do similar. We'll go through them all before we talk about them, I guess, because the next one is entrapment formation, which is the same thing except you would discard this card or a navigate token to activate it. If you do, until the end of the round, each friendly ship may change its speed by 1. So you basically spend 1 navigate token, and all your ships can change their speed that turn.
It's all right.
They're all 5 points, by the way. And then the last one they've shown is...
Really spaced these out on the
really
page.
spaced these out. Where is it? It's to do with shields. Shields to maximum. At the start of the ship phase, you may discard this card or spend an engineering token. If you do, before a ship reveals its command, it may recover 1 shield. That one is 6 points.
So that ship has to spend an engineering token for every other ship to be able to heal 1 shield.
Yeah, which is obviously great if you've
or
got
you can
a lot
bin
of
that.
Corvettes.
You can bin that if
something.
you've run out of engineering tokens.
I don't know. I always find with running multiple Corvettes, one of them will be just very near death, and the rest will just be completely immaculate.
Yeah.
So I think
they tend to go down.
no one spreads
agree.
fire.
Do the rebels have anything that deals yourself a damage to do something, or are they all Imperial upgrades?
Victory would
Very
work well then. No, that's actually a damaged card though, with the new commander.
Do they have anything?
I guess it means you can drive your guys through debris fields if they're all getting a shield back every turn and not give a shit about that.
That's what you do all the time now. It's kind of a pointless card to take just for that.
No, but that's like a benefit of it, I suppose.
It might work like if you had like an old-fashioned Akbar line, old-fashioned Wave 2 Akbar line or something where everything's taking the shots at the same time, probably.
Yeah, because if you're getting if someone's gunnery teaming you and shooting multiple ships,
exactly,
you're getting some benefit. But yeah, I don't know. That one's the fighter one seems really useful. The shields one is a bit okay.
It harks back to what we were saying.
And what was the navigate one? So every ship you spend You spend a navigate token or discard it.
Yeah, and every ship can change its speed, which is pretty handy.
That's pretty good.
It means you could
actually,
take a Kraken list.
and you could do like an Oswald type thing with it.
Yeah, basically.
You can just jump it from nothing to
from 1 to 3 and stuff like that. So I think that one's good.
I think it goes back to what we were saying earlier about kind of your tanky stuff versus your damage output. I think the fighter one, All Fighters Follow Me.
Yeah,
that one benefits the Alpha Strike potential much more than that Shield one will benefit your tank.
Because the tanky one, the shields to maximum, only benefits you if they're spreading their fire out, which most good players don't do. Yeah.
The wording on this preview article is weird because it says you convert each engineering token assigned to Phoenix Home into a point of shields for every ship in your fleet.
They're assuming you're doing it every once a turn, I suppose.
No, but does that mean you can somehow assign more tokens with a shocker?
You can never have more than one of the same
That's a
token at any one
strict rule.
time. Yeah, that's a strict base game rule.
Okay.
And then by the time
I thought it was you never could
because you have to do this.
Another.
You have to do this before any ships activate.
Right.
You wouldn't have time to assign another token to it.
No,
but if you have Ramus and you're doing this every turn, all of a sudden you've got Soak 1 for everything. I assume you've got the Tutor Shield facing as well. I don't know, maybe if you added Red Dirt into a key place.
It's a weird way, but their articles are often a bit strange or wrong.
Well, for example, XX9, where they specifically say have XX9
this is how it works.
And resolve the same crit effect and the other one for 3.
And then they FAQ'd it.
The basic wording read you only got the 2, and then they had to FAQ it to go, you're right, it was just the 2, not like our article said.
So I suspect there's a 4th one of these for the firepower token.
I don't know.
What would that be? Every ship can re-roll a die.
Every ship can re-roll a die.
I feel like that would be...
Would that be too good? I mean, basically, the Navigate one gives everyone
I guess
a Navigate
every ship...
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Based on the fact that we decided Concentrate Fire was the worst benefit you could have in the game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It might be cheaper. Might be only 2 or 3 points.
Yeah.
Re-roll in all your ships. One die
from all your shit.
Yeah,
and it's better than nothing.
But also, remember these. Like the reason I don't like the firepower token is because you're taking it instead of another token.
Yeah. Right, so if you're just getting it for free.
If every ship gets it and can still have its own tokens, you can still keep your own navigate token on a Corvette, but get a reroll.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That does sound good. That does sound really good. But is that too good? Like I wondered if
I don't think so.
Particularly didn't create a firepower one because they thought it would be too much.
Let's have something more interesting regarding the concentration of firepower. So, say for example, spend a token, choose an enemy ship, range 1 to 5. Any ship targeting that can add a die to its pool.
So there is one.
That could be much more interesting.
That's too strong.
Yeah, that's too good.
That's way too strong.
It's way too good.
Maybe
actually,
further away.
Maybe not, guys, because on the preview of the ship, this is all the stuff you get in the box.
Yeah, it's not there.
Only one of the cards is face down, and that's Ahsoka.
So yeah, I just wonder if they just didn't create a firepower one because it would make too much firepower. And
it would be really good for Corvette spam.
And they don't want the game to revolve around rolling the most
They
dice.
could always
Yeah.
release something later on, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
Are-
could.
are there
Do you want the
any-
game to revolve around ships shooting each other?
No, but I mean, like they don't want it to revolve around just ridiculous, massive dice combos. That
Are there any other cards? Is that it?
That's that's all the cards they've spoiled.
And then is
there
anything
are
in
two more cards. Oh, first of all, you get another fighter coordination teams in there, so you don't have to buy 3 interdictors if you want 3 of
Happy
those.
days.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then the other
Right,
two,
try
I'm excited
that.
about both of these, but you can only read half the card, so I don't know how many points these are, and I don't know exactly what they do, but you can make a really good guess. So there's this one called Rapid Launch Bays, which takes up your offensive retrofit slot, and it says, before deployment, something may set aside something friendly squadrons, something squadron. So I think what that says is, before deployment, you may set aside as many friendly squadrons as you have squadron value. So, for example,
Yeah,
you got
fair.
4 squadron command, you can fit 4 squadrons in your MC-80. And then, when you activate a fighter command, you something, the set something within distance, something unactivated. I think that says you may
Place them.
basically place those 4 squadrons you've got sat on your ship
Yeah.
within distance 1 of your ship
Yeah,
unactivated.
yeah.
So you deploy your squadrons mid-battle.
yeah,
It
which is
feels
amazing.
super broken, but I love the fluff of that. Like
Yeah,
the Star
that's
Destroyer's
cool.
cruising along, and there's suddenly like 5 TIE fighters just like spill out of it.
Well, because you
That's
know
cool.
where they are as well, right? You can't unless you can do that on multiple ships.
Well, it's not unique.
So you can hide them.
Yeah.
But you don't
I
have to-
imagine you'd have to put them like on your ship card to say which fighter
Which ship
and
is
which
which,
ship. But
yeah.
who knows? We can't read half
That would
the card.
make sense.
That
from a-
upgrade type. What's that gonna
So
be on?
almost any carrier has that
Defensive.
slot.
Yeah.
So
and there's nothing.
Like-
the
like-
MC-80 Command Cruiser has it. Both
And-
all the
and you
Star
can
Destroyers
take-
have it.
And you could take 4, but that's replacing your slot where you
That's
expanded
your
or boosted.
expanded or boosted comms. So you're losing
right.
boosted. But to be honest, if you've got that, you don't need boosted comms because your fighters are near.
True.
But it gets your B-wings in close without getting shot. It gets your
So you rock up your MC-80 and be like, surprise, B-Wings.
yeah. Well, imagine you could do it with like hyperspace assault maybe and stack
But we
it.
don't know if you could still activate them after you've launched them out.
Yeah, because they come in unactivated.
Yeah.
They come into play unactivated.
So you can then activate them
Correct.
Yeah.
after, because it
Can
says
you-
if
can
you're
you-
using that, maybe you're using
Can you
that to
do all
do
that
it.
nonsense with the? Can you deploy them, then drag them, then
Yeah.
activate them with a squadron?
Probably.
you get to choose,
with
don't
the
you,
S
with the
like
order?
fighter coordination
Yeah,
team.
probably. I
and
mean, we'll have to
flight
read the whole
captains
card, but I
and-
think there's potentially some horrible combos. But you could like
I mean-
hide Mauler Mythal in your.
But squadrons weren't good anyway, so they needed.
They needed this serious.
Yeah,
boost.
well done for
But
making them
Here we
better.
go. Here's a counter, right?
Oh,
The other
finally,
upgrade.
a counter to.
So we've got flechette torpedoes or flechette missiles or whatever it's flechette something. Takes up your missile slot, and it only triggers on black dice.
Okay.
Shooting anti-squadron. So there's a really limited amount of ships that have
Yeah.
the missile slot and a black anti-squadron
yeah.
dice.
Yeah.
What it says is, while something, squadron, something, 1 black die, something, to toggle slider.
I really enjoyed this card.
Right, well, basically, I think it's almost definitely what this says. Is
you hit a ship.
you basically,
follow the
if
slider.
you discard your black dice or you hit them with a black, you do something with your black anti-squadron dice. You either hit them or you discard it, and you
Do-
toggle their slider
do a
from activate
Dutch
to
on
no,
them.
You Dutch them basically, so you can lock something down and not let it shoot.
I like that.
It's pretty good.
And-
It's pretty good.
Potentially, it's every ship you hit with your black dice. So if you spray a radar out there
Yeah.
and like hit 4 ships, that's 4 things slided, maybe.
Yeah,
Or
That's,
I think that's great. I think
brings the radar back into the game, a bit,
definitely.
doesn't it?
Does Raider have a-
one?
That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
it's got black anti-squadron and
two black anti-squadron.
yeah, there's
handles
one with 2
experts.
black and one with a black and a
And you
blue.
get the instigator title, so they don't move. Is it
Yeah.
instigator? So the one
yeah.
which engages them. So you engage the swarm.
There's the other
and
title
make
that
them
gives
all
you a free shot at the end of the turn
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, impetuous.
Pretty good.
get an extra dice as well against named ones.
Yeah.
Get another black in.
Callus, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So you'll see this on Raiders. You'll see this on the assault version
Is
of
that
this
gonna
ship.
be? Yeah, but we don't know what that does exactly.
No, but it obviously activates. It
it
Dutches.
does-
Yeah, we don't know how hard it is to do it, but it
Yeah,
does. It
I
does
just wonder
function.
if it can be
Is it a crit?
scattered or if it can be
I'm sure it will be able to be scattered.
so unique and.
It depends. If you just discard a black dice to toggle their slider, it's not an
Oh,
attack.
right. Is that what you think? it
I
says?
don't know.
Well, yeah,
Who knows
that's
for
what
sure?
I reckon it'd be a hit. I reckon it has to be a hit
Yeah, so
because
I'm wondering
it'd be really powerful against.
But
Yeah,
don't you
no,
need
it's
something
powerful.
against these squadrons because they are.
But
But it would make it good against bombers, but not against the
Okay.
fighters, because the fighters tend to have scatter tokens, which would make sense. Is an A-wing going to be able to avoid the flechettes faster than a B-wing or a TIE bomber? You know, that doesn't have any.
So
You know, would an elite pilot in an A-wing or TIE
keep our
fighter, which is
ships
supposed to
on
be
board.
manoeuvrable.
But it'd be important to see, because like if you can toggle Mauler Mythal's slider before he moves,
That's
like,
ridiculous.
That's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, that's massive. Well, you know, you'd be dumb to fly in within range of anything with that, I guess.
But if you can shoot after you move, you could stick it on. You could stick it on a gladiator with Agent Callus, so you're getting a black dice against uniques, and it can move after its shoot.
Demolish, if it was Demolisher.
So you can just fly Demolisher up and Dutch whatever you want.
Tiny.
Who knows? We'll see.
I'm all for
It's
Demolisher.
gonna shake it up.
Anti-Squadron. I think it's a great one.
Anything else we've done on that one?
That's it. That's Home One. Anyone's
So-
opening final thoughts on Home One?
It seems
Not Home One. Sorry,
Phoenix Home. It seems really good. Like lots of different upgrades, lots of different things to shake it up, and it seems like it does. It is something new, tactical. It's not just like, oh, it's a thing that flies around at long range and outbars people. It doesn't seem like, oh, it's like MC8. You just ram it at people. It seems like it's going to need a bit of finesse to maybe find its role. Perhaps
keeping it alive is going to be tough. It's a big target.
Exactly. It's got a lot of powerful ship buffing effects on it, but it could be quite a finesse ship to use because you need to get, for 60 points, you need to get something out of it, but you can't really fly along the back of the thing like a flotilla and just buff everybody. You need to get something out of it, but it's hard to keep alive.
I think you're going to run multiples of them as well.
And it was cheap enough to. Yeah. And it doesn't make the interdictor look like a piece of shit.
Yes.
It's like half the price.
Whoa, I won't have you bad-mouthing me. That's come back into the meta.
I definitely want 2 of those.
I mean, for me, the basic stat line is quite encouraging. It's also, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the fighters in the game at the moment. I don't like the way it feels to command them, where you've got separate ships, but this is like the price point, the amount of squadron activations, and the amount of squadron stuff you get in there. For me, it sits in a really nice point where I actually really want to run this and a fighter swarm.
Yeah,
with other shenanigans as well.
Yeah,
not Uraris, because
there just seem to be loads of different tricks you can do with it. Like
all those different builds,
all those upgrades. It's not just like
I'll wait for you to go out of fashion.
Some of the other ships. I don't know if this point will have been made before. Is like when the assault frigate came out, everybody just go Mark 2B A can back off. No one's ever going to use that.
Yeah,
and the same with like Demolish. Not to the extent now, because the double blue is good for the Demolisher move. But to start with, it was like you're only ever going to use a Gladiator 1. But with this, it feels like
two distinct roles, and
also there's so many different upgrades. You can really make it whatever you like. It's not just like this, your MC30 blue black frigate. There's only one thing you're doing with that. Right? There's no
fucking around there.
No, exactly, and there's no real multiple roles for a lot of the ships, and it does feel like they really are starting to really present those options for us, because it's
different versions are actually unique.
But also like you could do multiple things with it, like depending on how you equip that, you could have it sit at the back and fire at long range. You can fly in, stay alive, and spunk your black dice on stuff, and then try and get away. You can fight a support. So it feels like it could do all the roles.
My only concern,
Alpha Strike.
My only concern about it is like the maneuver.
It's slow. Yeah,
that doesn't matter.
Well, with engine tech, because it's got its speed 1 as a double click. So when it does engine tech,
it can flip its back round.
True.
An engine text with a small base is amazing. You can get out of some ridiculous arcs with a like double. Have you ever? Do you know what I'm talking about?
That handbrake turn. You just like flick.
I've done that with Demolisher and some, and people are like amazed. They trace it back. They go, show me that again, because like how have you got out my side arc with the double? It's because it's the small base.
Yeah,
when you move at 45 degrees, it just flicks the back out of the arc.
It's all about being in the rear arc of an ISD turn through with Liberty.
Yeah,
that's the one.
But the only I guess my concern is just to see a small base ship that can't move speed 3. It's like you rule out having Kraken, but
I mean, I'd want to run this with X-wings because I like X-wings, and that seems to work quite nicely as a speed point. Maybe a tad slow, but fine.
I really want to do it with Scourges. I want to run to MC8.
You do everything with Scourges.
I've never done that before.
That was that one list. You played 4 games of it, and like
maybe when we go through because you use that list at the tournament. After that, you could say what your new plan is.
Yeah, cool.
Definitely those.
Right.
Aequitens time.
Aequitens class.
So someone else want to do this, because I've been talking for 90% of this.
We love the sound of your voice though, Ben.
Such could do it with his
silky
smooth his radio voice.
Oh, baby.
So the Aequitens is also from Rebels.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys watched that, because I have no clue about some of these characters popping up. Anyway, Aequitens light cruiser. Aequitens class light cruiser. 5-hull, 1 black dice AA. the command of 2, 1 squadron, and 3 engineering. I've got an evade, 2 redirects, and a what do they call that? Contain. That's it. And then it's a side arc broadsiding badass with 3 red dice either side, black and a red out the front and the rear. And then the maneuver dial is also pretty insane, where it's 2 clicks on its final manoeuvrement for speed 1 through 3, but no yaw value for anything else, basically. So it's made for this new commander they're about to drop, or potentially. And then you can have an officer defensive countermeasure. I can't remember how they call it. Retrofit, and then a turbo laser upgrade. And then we've got the command class cruiser, which has 1 more squadron value. The AA switches from black to blue, and the battery armament likewise switches from black to blue in the front and the rear, and you gain the support upgrade, and that's
support officer 5 more
support
points.
Officer 5 more points for 59.
Is unusual in the Imperial fleet.
Yeah,
so it's probably worth it just for that alone.
Because that's the FCT as well, isn't it? That's what.
That's
support officers, the FCT,
the fight coordination, drag and drop squadrons. It's the engine upgrade, but I don't know if you'd want to be running that necessarily. Although
makes it turn.
It's a lot of things. It makes
because you can go speed 1.
I
and
do
then
like
boost,
it turnier.
so you get a radar speed 2 effect basically.
Yeah. That broadside, it makes it quite tasty.
What do you guys think of that one then?
I quite like the manoeuvre on it. I think it's going to be quite interesting. So you go straight line and then turn your arc wherever you want.
It's like the Rebel Transport, isn't it? The Rebel Transport is similar. It has that kind of what do they call it? Like the shift, the slide,
the Rebel slide.
The Rebel slide. That's it.
The Rebel slide.
Yeah, it's just two. Because lots of Rebel ships all have two clicks on their last click.
But you're going to do a navigation with that every time.
What about the 2 redirects when you've only got 2 shields on every side?
No, that's great because how often
use all your shields? Yeah.
How often has a Corvette died because they accuracy'd your redirect?
And this is the first time something smaller has had a contain, or is that?
Yes.
Is that right? But then with 5 hull,
it's probably going to be dead before it uses.
But I do like the containment because it stops it from dying to structural damage, and it stops it to getting like one of those crits that says every time you move you take a damage, and you're like, I'm on 1 damage, I need to move this turn.
Plus, if you really don't like it, you stick Nida on there for a second evade.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
and then you can
have 2 evades to
you basically make it
like
Corvette.
Maybe like the MC30.
Oh yeah.
That's not a bad shout for it.
I don't know. The broadsidiness is interesting.
Well, yeah, it's the first Imperial ship with a decent broadside.
It's good because it's something different.
Yeah.
Cool, right.
Pretty cheap as well, 54 points.
This is my thinking. For its stat line alone, I quite like it. I think it's going to move, and it's got the firepower at the sides. Yeah,
2 command makes it a bit trickier than a Corvette to push around.
Are we going to start seeing these as
6 of them.
TRC?
I was thinking
that, but it's only 1 attack out the side. I mean, there's no Akbar available to the Imperials. It's just it's nowhere near the Corvette's TRC efficiency.
What's the arc like on it as well?
It's harder. It's like a hybrid arc.
It's harder to get the front in, but it's quite easy to get the back in,
which is also a weakness.
They're chasing you.
This might be
it's got the same shield all the way around.
How valuable the shield?
2 all round on the shield, so it's kind of irrelevant if you're getting shot in the back or the front.
This might be a weird thought, but because it seems really good, but it won't benefit that much from Motti because it only gets 1 whole point.
We're going to take different.
Does that mean there might be like an incentive to not take Motti?
That is what we need right now.
Who would you take?
Like in a subtle way.
I think Vader could work for these.
What's the Vader one again?
Exhaust a defense token, of which it has many, to re-roll as many of your dice as you want.
That shit's legit.
Or if you spam a few of these out with a few flotillas and then, just Tarkin.
Yeah,
Tarkin would be good with it.
Because they've got 2 command, which is actually a strength if you've got Tarkin.
Yeah.
You stack 2 tokens on them.
Yeah, definitely. And I like the Vader call as well, because they've got that contain token thing that you probably don't care about exhausting.
Yeah, or one of your redirects.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So who's buying 5?
I'd love to try a swarm with them, but I cannot spend them that money.
We'll buy 1 each, and then
we'll take it in turns.
That's a good point. Somebody will browbeat the rest of us into borrowing them from a tournament.
I think I definitely want 2 of those as well. Anyway.
Yeah. They're only because the next wave. The next wave is difficult, isn't it? Because in previous waves, there's always been 1 big ship. You buy 1, and then you buy multiples of the small. But this time it's small ship. and squadrons, and you're going to want multiples of all of it. So
it's going to be an expensive way.
pricey.
Overall, I've ended up buying so many flotillas. I think I've got 2 Rebel, 3 Imperial flotillas.
Wow.
No, it's the other way around. I've got 2
Imperial.
3
Oh, the
Rebel
other way round.
flotillas. Yeah.
But flotillas,
I love flotillas.
according to some Worlds analysis, there was every list had a flotilla.
Well, why wouldn't
every
you?
single list,
Why
because
wouldn't
it's so good.
It's
So
Yeah,
good.
it's
Even if you
automatic.
just stick a repair crew or a comnet on it, and have it
Activations
just
are
fuck
just
around.
awesome.
You don't have nothing on it, just have it there.
And it's hard to kill for considering that you only get like 20 points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's too much effort.
It's too much effort to kill for
Yeah.
that amount of points.
Anyway, right. Moving on.
Yeah.
So, new turbo laser upgrade.
Mm.
Dual turbo laser turrets. Modification.
That's important to note because take some other things off the table.
While attacking, you may exhaust this card to add 1 red die to your attack pool. If you do, remove 1 die from the pool. So what are we saying with the timing on this? You basically
So-
roll your dice.
Take away 1.
Tap
add
this, you
another
take
one.
away the blank, and then
No, because of the timing.
It's
the
wild.
removing comes later.
right, so you can roll.
So you exhaust this card to add a red dice, and then once you've finished fucking around with all your dice and all your concentrate fire rerolls and
You
everything,
have to take one out.
You take one out before they.
So you just
resolve
take the
damage.
blank away,
Yeah.
which makes it seem weaker than.
But you can, because it's just
TRC.
while attacking, you could do it before you rolled if you wanted. It'd be pointless because you want to see what you roll and
Yeah.
take the weakest
Especially
one
because
out.
you exhaust this card, so you can't use it on both your shots. If you double arc.
yeah.
It is a poor man's TRC.
Well, it's only 2 points cheaper than TRC, and it doesn't work on all your shots, and it's a modification.
But-
I think it's fucking useless.
Well, it has a use, but relative to other stuff, it's so much weaker that why would you take it?
I'd rather take slave turrets
It's
or
like-
TRCs.
When veteran gunners are spoiled, I thought, veteran gunners seems cool, but
Yeah.
who
You
uses
can't-
it?
No one.
Because it's 2 points cheaper than gunnery.
And then you have to reroll everything.
You can-
and you can
If
get
it was
fucked
one
by
die of any
statistics.
colour, do we agree? If it was a die of any colour, it would probably be about right.
Yeah.
It would probably be about right.
Well, maybe a bit too cheap for that because you're chucking in like a blue
maybe
dice when you don't
7.
have
I'm
any.
not.
Right.
I'm not sure it helps it, but from my reading of it,
Or was
it
it a
does
die
appear-
already in your pool? It would be about right, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So the way I'm reading it is you could use it against squadrons, but again, being an exhaust card,
Yeah, only
only
one
one shot.
One
I've read.
yeah.
Might get cheeky double damage, but yeah, it still doesn't work.
That's
5
true.
points.
That's true, but yeah, exhaust for one.
Nothing shuffles
one
red against
squadron.
squadrons, does it? So
No,
that's
no.
weird, yeah.
yeah.
But that's only if you're really hungry to pop that squadron, and you somehow like.
And you've still got to then ditch a blue dice out of your.
Yeah, well, if you roll 2 blue
One of
and
them's blank.
somehow hit crit, and you can't reroll the crit for whatever, you add in a red, roll it in,
Yeah.
and hope you get the double damage.
Wow.
And then the other guy just goes,
Yeah, give me
accuracy.
5 of them, man. I'm sold.
Yeah.
So should we move
Go
on?
for
Given none of us are going to play this ever,
The
except
card art is
when we
beautiful.
force Ben to use
Yeah.
them in the campaign as a handicap. Let's move on.
But just think about it, like, you can put slave turrets on for 6. That just gives you an extra dice.
yeah.
On
You
one
can-
attack. But that's the same, yeah.
You can have turbo laser reroutes for 2 more points. That just turns one of your blanks into a.
Yeah, or crit if you want. If you
Um,
so those new objectives coming out.
I
Which
mean, it's nice, but
Pointless.
well, you can consider if you've got Vader in your fleet, it's even worse because you're rerolling all your dice anyway.
Does it stack well with any other turbo laser upgrade? I.e., does it work well on the MC Liberty
That's a good point.
with any other laser upgrade?
It has to be
Or
one that's not a modification, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're right. It has to be
so-
one that's not a modification, so not like slave.
Not the shoot out the sides ones
Spinal.
and slaved and spinal.
Yeah.
They're all anything that adds a dice is a modification.
Moncaron doesn't have. the Liberty doesn't have a turbo laser reroute, does it? You can't double it.
The crit one,
No,
double
yeah.
crit.
So it doesn't have doesn't have
Evade.
evade
Token,
tokens.
yeah.
Yeah, is what I was trying to say.
I guess you could put it on like a victory or something like that can't have TRCs anyway.
I guess
Yeah,
what
I
it's
guess
there
that's
for,
the
yeah.
thing. We're looking at it too much of. We're too used to TRCs and that.
So if you couldn't have use an evade, it might be
But for 5 points,
Okay.
it is expensive.
1 point cheaper than slave.
For a one dice reroll, essentially.
You do get to
is-
still do a side shot, like double arc.
Why doesn't it work on both shots? So
There,
Yeah.
that doesn't make
It's
sense.
annoying.
It should work on
well,
both
because
shots.
then given the wording, you could use it on every squadron shot, which maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe against
They could just put
red
while
dice.
attacking a
yeah,
ship.
well,
though.
attacking a
Yeah.
ship.
All right.
Anyway.
It's probably not going to be that. It's probably not going to be that.
It's not going to change the world.
Yeah,
is it?
let's move on to a
Next
card that may
Next
change
card.
the Armada.
Card of the pack. Card of the pack.
Yeah.
Calling it now.
Yeah.
Minister Tua. Is that the correct?
Yeah,
She's
I
also
think so.
from
She's-
Rebels.
She's from
right?
Is
Rebels.
she second in command?
She's like in charge of. She's the
No,
governor
bad
of the
joke.
planet that they're.
Of Lothal.
That's the one.
Oh,
Imperial
yeah.
Governor of Lothal. and she's basically fairly incompetent, isn't she?
Yeah. But not in Armada.
She's kind of themed because she's really defensive about everything.
Yeah, that's true.
She tries to cover up her mistakes, and she's always like trying to protect. She'll sacrifice like loads of like a stormtrooper after stormtrooper so she can get away and all that kind of thing.
In the card art, it looks like she's playing a game of rock paper scissors.
And she's probably lost that as well. Right?
She's played scissors. Oh,
those are some really
counters.
Vader's gone rock. She's in trouble.
Oh dear! All right. So it reads as a unique officer. You gain one additional. What were we saying? Defensive retrofit. Sorry, I keep forgetting these words. Icon in your upgrade bar. You cannot equip this card to a medium or large ship with a defensive retrofit icon in its upgrade bar.
Currently, that only restricts it to an ISD Mark II.
So you can put on all other Imperial ships.
Yeah, but there may be more ships in the pipeline.
Yeah,
that's why they've worded it that way.
Yeah, of course.
I've got two things about this card. One is it's fucking amazing. It's going to appear in every Imperial fleet till the end of time.
2 points.
For 2 points, without a doubt.
Yeah.
That's one thing the Imperials really miss, because currently the ISD-2 is the only ship.
You can have ECM.
Yeah. The downside is you've just created a card that's going to appear in every single fleet.
Yeah. It's
that's kind of bad games design, isn't it?
Motti. Yeah. So there's some good combos you came up with, Ben, isn't there? There's the Gazanti.
Oh yeah, I love the idea of the
ECMs on a Gazanti is
ECM,
ridiculous.
slicer tools and suppressor, and you bring it in a flank where only one ship can shoot at it, and it's immortal, and it just runs along, slicing and suppressing, and you can't fucking kill that thing.
Oh, that's brilliant. Totally stealing
you can
that.
shoot it with that new objective where you can spend accuracies for victory points. That's all you can do to it, right?
Yeah.
Just sit there and take 10 points for all your accuracies that you roll.
There is the fact you can still add that to the new ship. Because
it's a small ship. Yeah, they have two. But then they're quite expensive upgrades. Sticking 2 of those on a ship, you're suddenly having like a 70, 80 point small ship.
Bulkhead and ECMs.
Yeah.
It might be fun to try. I personally, and this is just like bias because I'm a VSD fan. Yeah. I'm just looking forward to putting it on a VSD and ramming it down someone's throat. A multi VSD
with ECMs.
or maybe not Motti, maybe the commander will come onto in a minute and just going...
Yeah. Fucking solid. I think you're gonna have this in every fleet. It makes the ISD-1 quite fun, because the biggest drawback of that is it doesn't have that slot.
Yeah, and the ISD-1 actually is got really good dice pool, but at short range. But it's speed 3, so it can get in there, but it just tends to die too quickly.
So at the moment, I only use the ISD-1 as a hangback carrier.
Everybody uses it as a hangback carrier. Yeah.
But now you can use it as an attack ship.
Oh, it's going to feature in an interdictor.
Oh, you can make an interdictor even more expensive now. It's another upgrade slot for it.
Definitely having this on my interdictor.
Great. So should we do, Ben? You've got to make the Gazanti good. Ricky's going to do it with the Aequitens. You're going to
make the Gazanti good.
with
Congratulations, Ben. You succeeded.
You made one of the best ships in the game even better.
What I meant is you've got to try this with the Gazanti. You've got to try it with interdictor. Yeah. I'm going to VSD it. Ricky's going to use it on Aequitens. Cook's just going to continue to play no squadrons.
Cook's going to put it on a gladiator, I guess that means.
Or a raider.
Now, do you think it's worth it on a gladiator? Because gladiator has one of each defence token, so ECMs has some value there, but you're making it even more expensive.
I think on Demolisher, possibly, I'd say. It's
worth trying.
Really good, but you do take away your officer slot.
If you can make a stripped down Demolisher, it could keep you alive, and then Demolisher's weakness is when it's in there.
Yeah.
Once it's gone,
I mean, like how many times
can that?
Demolisher sometimes dies to like a full-on broadside if it gets sloppy and
might let you keep Demolisher in there for longer.
Yeah, it might do. So
which could kill the last ship off for you. And even if you trade Demolisher to kill their
one more activation out of Demolisher is
good,
always
right?
good.
And even if you lose Demolisher after it,
but it's 9 points.
But who cares if you lose Demolisher at 80 points as long as you kill their big thing for 160?
Yeah. Okay, so the next card is Reinforced Blast Doors, which is a defensive retrofit upgrade. At the start of the ship phase, you may discard this card to discard up to 3 of your face-down damage cards.
So the important thing to notice there is it's not when you activate.
Yeah, how many people are going to forget this and come to their ship and go, "Oh, can I do a take back?"
It's at the very start of the turn before anything happens.
Yeah,
it's like Han.
Yeah.
When all your shit's on fire, you've got to remember.
It's whoever has initiative, I think, that picks. How pissed would you be if you had this and you had one?
And then Han
snipes you.
Man, that would be a rage quit, right? No, never.
It's good though. That's really important because it would. If it didn't do that, if it did it when you activated the ship, it would make it a bit shit if you were a second player because you can only use it when your ship's already on fire.
Oh yeah.
And if they got a shot at you before you could use it,
I guess that timing step does make it better.
It makes it much better, I think.
Yeah, because
to have it at the start.
If you're a second player, you're never going to use that card. Basically, you're half dead. You want to use it. Oh, they're going first. I am dead now.
Yeah.
I see.
But it
also makes it
was
worse,
when you
doesn't
activate
it? Because
it's got to be like when you're really struggling. If firstly you've got to have 3 face down damage cards to discard, or
because
I guess you could use it for less, but you're getting less value on it.
I guess it does make it better, but there are not in every situation. I think because there are situations where you have no damage when this triggers.
That's true.
Then you have damage.
Yeah. True.
Then you activate. Then something comes and snipes the last damage off you.
Yeah.
And then you die. Whereas if you'd have been able to activate this, you'd have taken the 3 off, been able to weather the storm and then fly off, say. So it makes it better and worse.
It's better on bigger ships, isn't it? That are going to die in one shot.
That MC-80 with
double slots.
Yeah.
Assault Cruiser is pretty scary with this on. VSD is quite fun with this on.
The what was scary on it?
The Assault Cruiser. They can have ECM and blast doors.
Oh, yeah, the MC-80.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's nuts.
and Major Brent.
Same amount of health.
So you can his first name, it's going to confuse everybody.
Maybe run 3 of them again and try it.
Couldn't he fit it in?
Well, I'd probably have it with Antilles, and then that can strip the damage cards, and Antilles just keeps putting 3 shields back on every turn.
Well, I think we're going to come on to the new Admiral soon, who's gives damage to your own ships. But maybe, you do that more freely if you've got these blast doors to sit on.
True.
Yeah. So the next card is Moff Jerjerrod. So
he is
correct
Ben.
pronunciation?
Do you want to know him? Right.
Yes,
do you remember opening of Return of the Jedi? Vader lands on the Death Star and gives some Imperial officer grief about not having finished the Death Star yet, and he's all like, "Well, the Emperor's coming, so pull your finger out." It's that guy. We shall redouble our efforts.
Big roll then.
Still don't fix that fucking exhaust pod.
He had.
That's why it works flop-wise. When he goes faster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He fucking gets the job done. There's random fun fact, right? There's deleted scenes from Return of the Jedi where he's in it loads more. There's a bit where Vader wants to go talk to the Emperor, and Jerjerrod stood there with 2 Imperial guardsmen saying, "You can't see the Emperor, get out of town, Vader." And Vader chokes him.
Oh really? How come?
Classic Vader.
And then while he's choking, he's like, "It's the Emperor's will." And so Vader lets him go and goes, "All right, whatever the Emperor wants," and stomps off.
Oh wow. Makes Vader seem like a little bitch.
Yeah, he is a bit. And then at the end,
Any of the comics, that's the main thing.
once it looks like the rebels are fighting the stormtroopers on the shield generator.
Yeah.
The Emperor phones up Jerjerrod and says, "If the shield goes down, I want you to turn the Death Star onto Endor and blow the moon up and kill everyone."
Oh wow.
And he's like, "We've got thousands of troops down there. What the fuck?" And the Emperor's just like, "Shut up and do it."
He's like, "We are the bad guys, right? You do know this is how we operate. You're an admiral. You've seen enough of
He's
this
a moth.
shit." Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, you saw the size of the explosion of Alderaan, right?
Yeah.
The Death Star was a lot closer to Endor than it was
Yeah.
to
So Ben, here's something to test your knowledge. What's his first name?
Oh, fuck. I actually know that because I used to play the Star Wars Rebellion, which he's like a main character in.
Yeah, no, that's what I was trying to think back to as well.
Start for 10.
Jeff.
I can't remember.
Jeff Vader. That's a whole nother sketch. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Jeff Jerjerrod.
His first name is Tian.
Tian.
Like Ian, but with a T.
Like Ian.
And another A.
Right.
Anyway,
sorry, enough plot.
Didn't actually read what the card does. Did we?
No, go for it.
During a friendly ship's determined course step, it may suffer 1 damage to change the first yaw value of its current speed to 2 clicks until the end of its activation. Which is pretty cool.
23 points.
Two really important things to notice
breaking.
there. One is, I assumed it was a damage card when I first read it, but actually it's not a shield, so you can take it on a shield that's not getting shot at.
Yep.
Which is amazing. Second one is it's for your whole activation. So if you engine tech, you get the 2 clicks on the engine tech as well.
Oh, wow.
That's broken.
Demolisher already does, but...
Yeah, that's true. And so does the Aequitens. So it only benefits the interdictor.
Well, the Aequitens has no yaw available if it's at speed 2 or 3, except for on its last...
Oh, I meant for the extra engine tech.
For the engine tech thing, yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, Freddy's, yeah.
But that's some cool snaky manoeuvre that some of these ships can now pull.
And that for me, I'm obsessed here, but that swings your VSD front arc right round.
Well, for VSDs on Navigate, it gets 1 naturally at speed 2, it gets 2 extra for Jerd Rod, and 1 extra for your
Navigate.
Navigate.
Do a radar manoeuvre.
So it can do a 90-degree move.
And I've been playing a lot of Maydeen, but that does kind of lock you into your Navigate commands, whereas this, you don't know.
Well, that's the other thing, you
I
don't
have
have
my
to take a
super
command.
sweet intensified firepower commands or my engineering and still have my manoeuvrability.
And then if I get through my shields down to my hull, I'll peel them all off with blast doors.
Yep.
No problem.
Well,
only on one ship.
On one
You almost always
ship.
have one fire arc that's never getting shot at, though, don't you? Like,
Yeah.
you've got the one that's actually getting shot at, and then you
the back,
redirect to the 2
or side.
adjacent ones.
Yeah.
And then you've got that final one that you sometimes die with shields on that. hull.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, we'll be. I think Jurgerud with VSDs would be pretty fun to try.
I'm definitely gonna be giving that a go.
But I guess everyone's gonna.
What's the cost of a VSD?
73
73 or 72 and 85. For the,
So you could run 4? No squadrons?
Well, in the first Store
That's
Champs I
strong.
played, I ran 4 naked VSD ones and Demolisher and Tarkin,
I didn't even.
and I won one. I went 2-1, and in the fight, let's say the final, in the last game, I lost to like double Motti ISD, but I was the only guy all day that killed any of his ISDs, and I got his last one down to like 3 or 4 health.
I didn't even discuss what
and a few shields, so it's vulnerable, but there's just so much fight. VSDs are so
are you
efficient.
taking the blue ones or the black ones?
Black ones. There was so much
Getting up
fire,
close.
so much firepower coming out for
And
the
yeah, and
points.
for 23 points, this Admiral.
Now the question is, like, does he fix the VSD? Because you're losing 2 hull points for not taking Motti,
Yeah,
but you're
Yeah.
gaining extra turning. Is that enough to
You're
make VSDs?
Well, you're losing 8 if you
Possibly.
had 4 of them. Or something.
Has anyone tried Constantine much?
I tried him a bit with
at the
Instinctors.
start I tried him a lot.
Because I thought that
Yeah.
would help VSDs if you can slow your targets down or change the speed of your
Yeah.
targets. But then I guess it still doesn't guarantee that you get the firing outs on which this guy.
You're still
can.
chasing the game.
Yeah.
It never felt like enough with Constantine.
No. Because you have to throw that many more.
And you have to then throw in like 3 tractor beams or a tractor beam
you don't
and
have
an
enough
interdictor.
firepower.
Hmm.
Like when
It costs you like 50 points for that
yeah,
speed
like
control.
we played Matt, I think, with it, and I cornered your assault frigate and absolutely blew it away. But that was all I could do.
Yeah,
Like I didn't have enough firepower to go or speed to go after the other stuff.
true. That's true.
So
I just realised there's another card there that you just can't see at all. Looks like damage
probably
control or something.
are there any more? Are there any? It was Gerald, the last one.
That was.
Okay. Are there any in the
last
pictures?
in the article.
Any
So I imagine
juice?
that we haven't seen any titles for it.
But it's not
So there must be the
title.
architects. There must be the
But
architects.
yeah,
title.
there's an officer called
Damage C.
Damage C.
Well, it's an officer, so I imagine
be
it's damage
damage
control.
Yeah,
Is that,
Well-
it seems a reference to contain token, or was that an accuracy?
yeah. When you
When you use your
something-
contain or something. Yeah.
contain defense, something can prevent something.
The damage, maybe?
I guess it makes. It probably does something like when you spend your contain token, prevent a point of damage as well as the crit effect.
This
Oh.
is possibly that.
Yeah,
What
possibly.
else do you get?
Hypothetical
you get,
Armada cards.
You get another engineering team
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I've only got
Worst card
like
in the game.
100 of those already. What else do you get?
So we've
The
done
blast doors.
yeah. So then we've got 2 face down. So one of them is going to be
What's
the
that?
title.
What's that?
They're
I
both
think that
be-
titles.
they're both titles.
2 titles.
It's interesting from a fluff point of view that this thing, well, assuming it's got a contain token and does extra stuff, it seems to take no damage or just die horribly. It would seem to be appropriate to the what we've seen on the TV show.
Yeah, because doesn't it get taken down by some
A single B-wing.
The single B-wing
ghost?
show.
Yeah, the single B-wing. That's it. Yeah.
Although the B-wings in Rebels have just got some kind of mega
what's
cannon.
that?
Yeah.
What's that spat out of? Is that launch from a launch bay? Or
No, it's
Just hyperspaces in
some
and
Mon,
so-
Mon Calamari guy is on some top secret rebel planet, isn't he? And
Making the super B-wing
Hera Syndulla goes to pick it up. They just hyperspace it in.
and kill everything.
Just kill like two Architects class crews, isn't it?
damn son.
I've seen some guy who did quite a cool repaint for a B-wing. Use it as Kian Farlander with the orange paint scheme from that.
Oh, nice.
Because Kian Farlander does just ravage you.
Yeah. Yeah, if anyone can do it, it's him with double activates or something.
So thoughts on the whole pack, the Architects pack?
That seemed pretty cool.
Yeah.
Minister Tua
Yeah,
Yes,
she's
yeah.
going to make options for the Empire
and
a lot more.
blast doors as well. I wonder how many. Well,
It seems good for the rebels, mainly
Yeah.
though, because
I think it definitely just you
Better
have to
for
pick some up.
Rebels than Imperials.
Play
Because
cards.
Also, the appeal is to have a ship that could legitimately, like, you've got your main bulky for like 300 points of your forces, the main bulk. head towards their fleet, you can have this going around the side as well, which wasn't really
side
an
art,
option.
side art's
Which
cool.
wasn't really an option for the Imperials before.
They didn't have a flanker.
It opens up greater kind of like macro strategies.
Yeah, definitely.
And the other thing is, I said this before we started recording, but the Imperials have always been one ship down. The Rebels have one more ship than the Imperials. But
Because the starter set had
because
two
the starter
rebels.
set had
and-
two Rebels in it. But also, the VSD's kind of shit until maybe not anymore, and the Interdictor's kind of shit.
Whoa,
So it's
whoa.
always felt like the Imperials have basically only had like 3 ships to pick from. And now they've actually got another ship that looks like it can be good. So it's really refreshing. Actually make some different Imperial lists for once.
And like I said, hopefully, because it doesn't benefit that much from Motti, maybe there's an incentive to try other...
Yeah,
Other
I'll
admirals.
be interested to see what the actual titles are, because I feel like the Rebel expansion, bringing a ship that you wouldn't necessarily want to spam, like they'll feel a definite hole or a definite role in the list. But this Imperial one
You just want to...
sort of seems
Swarm
like
it.
it wants to be TRC Swarm, and it's like
Or even just one on each flank of your main fleet.
I'll be
could
interested in
quite
what
cool.
the title actually says and what it actually does.
Yeah. Great. Any final thoughts? We'll move to a break and then...
We're all going to be poor after this week.
It's all good.
I think Destiny sees to that anyway.
Yeah.
I like
well,
I like the look of the
Spoilers.
Aequitens, actually. Like, do you remember the opening of Episode 1, where the transport that brings Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon into the space station?
Yeah.
It looks exact.
Similar engine arrangements.
It's got the back end, the second half of the Aequitens is basically the same as that ship.
okay.
So it still looks Star Wars.
I mean, I be honest, I don't remember this stuff. I know I watched it last year again, but
Another thing, isn't the Phoenix Home,
Yeah,
isn't that just a Corvette normally as well? Don't they lose this one?
it's like heavily modified.
I think there's
It's
No,
a
they
Pel-
do lose it and they
it's
just
a
end up flying
Pelto
a blue one.
No, they have loads of blue Corvettes. You mean in the series, Rebels?
Yeah, I'm
they
pretty
have
sure
loads
they
of
do
blue
something.
Corvettes and that, and then Vader in his TIE Advance kills that and like all of Phoenix Squadron, which are like elite A-wing pilots.
You say elite. They, at no point in the Rebel show do they appear to be elite.
They're supposed to be elite.
I've never seen them win an engagement yet. Like
They're always getting fucked until a ghost turns up to save the day.
I mean, really, Harry's there being like, "Oh no, don't shoot the enemy fighters who are shooting," and then it's like, "Okay, Harry won't shoot back," and then they just all die.
Yeah.
Like so, like, what?
You're right. They do
Bad
lose
call.
it, and they have to stick with their crappy blue Corvettes.
I mean, you can't call yourself an elite squadron if your casualty rate is higher than that, like a trainee TIE squadron.
To be fair, they did fight Vader, the greatest pilot the galaxy's ever known.
And
Debatable.
Well, certainly not an Armada.
We'll see a new Vader.
Where Jansen
side
needs to
to it.
have some words with you about that.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll be announced in Rogue One in any way.
What?
Phoenix Squadron or anything from Rogues. Rebels, sorry.
I think Rogue One might be a much bigger hit for the old Imperial Assault and the X-Wing.
It seems likely we'll get Phoenix Squadron in the Corellian campaign because they haven't revealed the
last
non-named A-wing.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Feels like it.
So it probably is.
Blows up after one move.
Yeah.
No love.
No, all your enemy fighters have to shoot. It's like Super Escort.
No, I'm sorry.
No love.
like Biggs.
Yeah, exactly. You have to shoot Phoenix Squadron. They die first every time.
I'm saying it's a new Vader card, which when rolling against home Phoenix 1, roll 10 black die. Ignore shields. Like, boom.
Boom, fuckers.
Everyone's just going to be running
that would make
one
Vader
Vader.
good for one specific role. Cool. Right, we'll stop to a break there, and then we'll come back and talk about the summer kit that we played on the last weekend of November. Not quite got the seasons right there, but
Yeah.
never
Been a
mind.
cold summer.
Yeah.
And it
All
was
right.
freezing.
We'll catch you in a bit.